Hello class and welcome to Module 6. This is going to be your Week 6 final project report. This is one of the last documents that you'll put out for ECS to see. It's one of the last graded documents that I'll be reviewing for you, but it is your final project report. Almost all projects wrap up with some level of, I'll call it project report that's supplied, a summary that kind of gives the customer or the internal stakeholders an understanding of exactly what happened on the project, more so than the status that you were providing week by week or element by element. So what I want you to do is I want you to understand that this is going to be an APA format document, which means that there are certain text styles that are required, and margins, margin indents, just the format and the structure. Now we've got a template that I've created for you. One of the things I want you to understand that I'm giving you the opportunity to open this up from 2,500 words to 3,500 words. Remember that almost all project reports or almost all documents start with some level of introduction or executive summary, and then you bookend it on the back end with a conclusion, a summary of the results. Make sure that you remember that the summary tells me what it was that you told me in the document. The introduction kind of lays out this is what we're going to talk about, or the executive summary explains what we're going to be covering. You'll have a title page that's required and a table of contents. Remember, if you use auto insert in Word, many times it defaults to the, I'll call it the document's original format for text, which means that your text styles could be Calibri or Cambria rather than the text style that you're using. So make sure you double check all of that. But your team is going to complete this document, and it's going to cover the areas: the project description, the scope and WBS, the project costs, schedule, resource baseline, your project performance and earned value projections, along with the closing status. That is a summary of what happened from week 1 all the way through week 6. So make sure you remember we're going to cover that. I want you to pull up the template that I've got for you. It's a Word document. And remember, this is a team-based project, so the team leader should be separating this out or delegating it out for other people to help complete or accomplish. You don't want one person trying to complete this. So you've got your sample cover page. So this is a sample template that I'm giving you. It's got basically the ECS format on it, and it's a sample template. Your running head is already completed for you here. You would put additional information in here, potentially, depending on how you want to cover it. Identify your team members, and then go ahead, the month, the date that this was accomplished. And then you'll see that I've got a table of contents page for you. And then in addition to that, I've created a grading rubric for you that's internal to this. It shows you exactly what you're going to be within the document itself. It's going to show you exactly what's going to be required. So let's go ahead and just increase the size of that a little, and that'll give us a chance to kind of look at things and understand exactly what this is from a text standpoint. So the grading rubric, your APA format, cover page, running head, label, date, project, all that general information is going to be worth 5 points. The APA format listing of paper sections, figures, illustration, attachments, and appendices. That means that all of that information that's required is going to be worth 5 points. The initial description of the team's project and technology conside of no more than 3/4 of a page. That's your initial description. That's going to be your executive summary or your introduction. And then the objectives, goals, WBS, and scope statement. That area is going to be worth 10 points. The initial customer budget, team developed budget, and financial position. That's going to be worth 10 points. Your initial schedule, your Gantt chart, your project network, and critical path, being able to show those and illustrate those is worth 10 points. And I know a lot of these are going to take snapshots. Do a cut and paste, drop it in as a figure, and then reference that figure or that illustration. Remember that words or information that is in figures, illustrations, or graphics is not counted towards the word count, so don't worry about that. If you get into trouble, put them at the end of the document as appendices, and that doesn't count towards the word count also. So remember, word count is from the front intro to the back of the conclusion. It doesn't cover anything ahead of that or behind that, like the reference page. In addition to that, you've got the risk matrix and risk register, plus your risk performance is worth 10 points. Description of a baseline project position, description of baseline versus actual position, and those are going to be those earned value projections and what that looked like, and then list what you would do differently on the next project, which is almost a summary of what you had in lessons learned. So make sure you review your lessons learned, describe those here, and then summary of results, concise, no more than 3/4 of a page, and that's the end conclusion. Remember, you want to try to hold those down as small as possible, but still covering the essential information. So 3/4 of a page. Each one of those is worth 5 points. And then APA format citations, that reference page, those citations, is going to be worth 10 points. Remember that all internet-based citations must have the www and the date that was retrieved. Date retrieved by means the date it was accessed. It doesn't mean that, you know, today you could pull it up and it could potentially have changed. It's the date that you originally went in and had that available. So remember, 2 required pieces for all internet citations within APA are going to be the date retrieved on or by and that www location. Okay, that's required. Now, this gives you just a brief peek at the grading rubric, and then you're going to see that I've broken down for you the team, project, and technology. The next one, objectives, goals, WBS scope statement. You can subdivide this document down into further areas if you want, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'm just giving you a basic structure to work by. Now, in addition to that template, I want you to know that, as we said, this document is worth 100 points. The grading rubric identifies that same information for you all the way down here, and you can see where your major points are, but this is one of the big assignments for you. It's worth 100 points. I want to make sure that you get everything correct. So what I want to do is I want to offer your team the opportunity, if you want me to do a review of the draft, if you can put together a concise draft prior to submitting the document and you want me to take a peek at it to see if there are any major flaws or if you've missed the boat in certain areas, contact me. What you can do is you can submit the draft for me to review, and I can provide you a pre-grading comment sheet where I will go through and tell you areas that might potentially be bad. And the reason I do that is I've had students in the past and teams in the past provide documents that were incredible. They were written well, there were no flaws in it, but they were not written about the objectives that the course required. Therefore, they lost credit. So the one thing I would tell you is make sure you go through the grading rubric, use that information as your guide as you're moving forward, okay? And once again, make sure the team leader provides everyone the opportunity to review this. Do a grammar check ahead of time. Don't wait till the last minute to review it. Make sure you look at it from a spell check standpoint, from a grammar check standpoint, and from an APA review perspective. Okay? Once you've got that done, provide it to me if you want for some sort of a you know, I'll call it a pre-grading review. I will turn those around within a 12-hour time period. So don't assume you can send me an email with it in it and that 5 minutes later you're going to get it back. Give me a little bit of cycle time, okay? And remember, this assignment is due the last day of week 6. So the last day of module 6, this is due. You don't have to have it completed before that, but if you do complete it before that, I will do pre-grading, okay? Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.